In a quiet village tucked between hills and winding river paths, lived a young man named John. He was striking, tall, clever, and charming. The women adored him. The elders praised his wit and boldness. But what they didn't see was what lay beneath the surface: a heart filled with pride, and a spirit that thought only of itself. John believed the world should bend to him. And one day, the village would come to learn the cost of his pride. John was a master of words. He lied to gain favors, to win hearts, to escape any task that demanded effort. His voice was smooth, his smile disarming. He could promise a river where there was only dust. The villagers, unaware, trusted him. Some even called him blessed. But behind every sweet word was a twist of truth, bent to serve only himself. Slowly, like vines in the dark, the seeds of his deceit began to take root in the village. Then came the announcement: the next spiritual leader would not be chosen by council or clan, but by the stones. The sacred path, ancient and silent, would test each soul. One by one, the villagers would walk barefoot across the stones. Only the pure would hear silence. But for those who carried secrets, the stones would speak. And so, whispers filled the village. Eyes watched. Hearts raced. For the stones were awake, and they remembered everything. One by one, they would walk. The chosen, the proud, the uncertain. Barefoot on the sacred stone path, where truth could not hide. The rule was simple: if your heart was pure, the stones would say nothing. Just silence. But if you carried deceit, the stones would whisper your shame for all to hear. No elder could protect you. No prayer could shield you. Only a clean heart could walk in silence. Then came John. Head high, chest out. His skin glistened with oil, his wrapper rich and flowing. The crowd murmured. He looked every bit the chosen one. Confident. Untouchable. He offered a slight smile, certain of victory. He had prepared for this moment, not with prayer, but with appearance. The stones, he believed, would honor his charm. But the stones do not see with eyes. They listen for what lies beneath. John was a master of words. He lied to gain favors, to win hearts, to escape any task that demanded sweat or struggle. His voice was smooth, his smile disarming. He could promise a river where there was only dust. The villagers, unaware, trusted him. Some called him blessed. But behind every sweet word was a twist of truth, bent to serve only himself. And slowly, like roots in the dark, the seeds of deceit began to take hold in the village. Suddenly, the stones began to whisper. Not with voices, but with something older, ancient and alive. Their sound curled through the air like smoke, low, eerie, undeniable. No one moved. Children clutched their mothers. Elders leaned in, afraid to speak. The whispers grew louder, closer, circling John. The ground beneath him felt different, aware. For the stones were not just judging. They were remembering. And they were ready to speak his truth. He deceived the widow. He stole from the harvest. The whispers rose from the stones, cold and clear. One by one, the truths John had buried were unearthed. The crowd turned, shock on every face. The elders looked away in shame. The maidens who once smiled at him now stepped back. John's pride withered. He had dressed like a leader. But the stones saw what no cloth could cover. John's pride shattered like clay struck by stone. The whispers still echoed, but it was the silence that crushed him. The maidens turned their faces, their eyes full of disappointment. The elders shook their heads, not in anger, but in sorrow. John, once praised, now stood alone. No one spoke. No one reached out. In that stillness, he realized. It wasn't the stones that had condemned him. It was the truth he carried. At dawn, John was gone. No word, no farewell. Not even a footprint in the red earth. His hut stood quiet, untouched. The villagers searched the riverbanks, the forest paths, but he had vanished. Some say he ran. Others say the stones took him. But no one truly knows. Only this remains, the warning in his silence. For when truth is denied, the land itself may rise to carry judgment away. Now, children are told, if you do wrong, do not tread the stones. The elders speak softly, their voices laced with memory. The stones do not forget, they say. They listen, they speak, and they judge. By moonlight, stories are whispered of John, the one who walked proud, but fell silent. And so, little feet step carefully, not out of fear, but because they've learned, truth walks lighter than any foot ever could, for the land forgets nothing. It remembers every footstep, every lie, every silence where truth should have spoken. And it does not speak to the loudest, only to the brave. Only those who walk in truth can hear its silence. The rest will hear whispers, warnings, confessions the wind cannot carry away. In this village, the ground listens. And when the time comes, it always speaks, clearly and without mercy. From that day on, the stones were honored, not feared. They were swept with care, greeted with bowed heads, and never taken for granted. Children no longer ran across them. Even the boldest walked with quiet steps. For the village had learned, truth leaves a trail, and the earth listens. Every path became sacred, and in the hush of morning, the stones seemed to hum, not with judgment, but with peace. So remember, when you walk this earth, let your soul be barefoot, and your truth be loud. The land may seem silent, still unmoving, but it listens, it watches, and it remembers. Every choice you make leaves a mark, not just in the world, but in the spirit of the ground beneath you. Do not walk with deceit, thinking the earth is blind. It has seen liars rise and fall. It has heard the whispers of stones and the cries of the forgotten. So walk gently but with courage. Speak truth even when it costs you. And leave behind a path that others can follow with pride. Because in the end, what you carry inside is louder than what you wear outside. And if the day comes when the stones must speak your name, let them speak of honor, not shame. For the land forgets nothing, especially the feet that walked in truth. Thanks for watching the Drums and Horns Stories channel. Kindly comment on what you have learned from the story. Please subscribe, like, and share for more entertaining stories.